Labels not make you happy. Good, bad. Ugh. You must love you.
But here's the thing. I don't want to be the bad guy anymore.
No one really likes being the bad guy, or at least the bad guy for no good reason. We all live, breathe, and go throughout our days convinced that we are good people and that our actions are justified. We are the protagonists of our own individual stories, yet how we may feel about ourselves may not accurately reflect how we are viewed by other people, for the better or for the worse. That is thanks to a little thing called perception. 9 feet tall, 643 pounds, beat up clothing, and hands the size of wrecking balls. To most from the outside looking in, these are the physical characteristics of someone truly mortifying. But for the character of Ralph himself, this is just how he was naturally made. Wreck-It Ralph surrounds the story of a character who is a villain in a video game, but that unfortunately transferred into a legitimate assumption of his nature. Like an actor, he plays the role of someone who causes hardship and destruction, which then leads to an infamous perception of terror being imposed onto him. A quite ignorant assumption, as it overlooks Ralph's true feelings, past his obligations as a video game character. Being unjustly viewed as a monstrosity, Ralph is a victim of ostracization, belittling, and straight up being bullied from those perceived as neutral, and even from those perceived as heroes. This physical and psychological torment spurs a deep-rooted insecurity within Ralph, as he tries to abandon his gifts and talents, tries to abandon his vital role, and tries his best to conform to those around him so that he can finally feel accepted. Ralph is led upon a journey of recognition, represented in a search to get a medal, a physical and metaphorical token of his acceptance into the kinship shared between others in his game, as, like they said, only heroes get medals. We, however, are treated to a pure desperation exuding from Ralph. His priorities may be focused on the idea of not being viewed as a destructive monster anymore, but that blindness leads him to be destructive and be viewed as a monster, actively confirming the stigma that he has been so very much against. It's not until he realizes that acceptance is meaningless if there's nothing to come home to that he understands what the true battle is all along. The scene takes place during the climax of the film, in which the cybugs are infiltrating and destroying the code that makes up the game Sugar Rush. Everyone is evacuating except a girl by the name of Vanellope Von Sweets, the first and most genuine friend that Ralph acquires, who can't leave because she is simply a glitch and therefore is stuck. So Ralph goes on to sacrifice his own life to create a deadly beacon that can eradicate all the cybugs in the game. A moment that is not fueled out of the potential act that he can go out and show to others, but just committing to a fatal sacrifice for the sake of someone he truly cares deeply for. After a slight tussle with the main antagonist, you now have Ralph free falling to his death and is accepting of it. With one hand, he grips the medal provided by Vanellope, something that's not as shiny as gold or given for being this huge symbol of bravery, but it represents the most important accomplishment he has ever made in his 30 years of being a game. That being in the mind of just one person, he wasn't a monster, and that's all he ever truly needed. But on the other hand, he holds out a large fist, ready to cause the destruction needed to start this volcano beacon. Destruction and his size once being a soft subject for him, as a constant reminder of him being trapped associated with his villainous identity, is now being embraced as a tool needed to reveal his inner heroism. As he is rocketing down to his doom, Ralph repeats the quite inspiring mantra of his villain support group that was stated earlier in the film. It goes as such: I am bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There is no one I'd rather be than me. Ralph was made to be Wreck-It Ralph, and that's good. He will never be Fix-It Felix or any other character, and that's not bad, because there is no one that Wreck-It Ralph would rather be than Wreck-It Ralph. The dialogue felt so natural, like he wasn't just saying it just to spew any nonsense out there, but sort of just saying it out loud to mentally justify to himself that this is the right decision, with it being a final confirmation of his noble character. The last hurrah, if you will, as he comforts himself and braces for his inevitable passing, knowing that he did good. As Ralph smashes through the cover and is falling to his demise, he inadvertently inspires Vanellope to embrace her insecurities as well, with her glitching abilities. This dedication, acceptance, and commitment pushes her to be able to drive up that volcano and get Ralph out in stunning fashion, saving the day for all and leading her to finding the truth about her identity. The Wreck-It Ralph story is one I've always wanted to cover for a bit because it's so good but often gets lost in the shuffle when referring to some of the all-time Disney greats. It's actually one of the first movies I can remember actually crying to back then. I don't know if it was just the redemption itself of Ralph or just how John really gave a strong and reassured delivery to his lines during such a fatal point in the movie. Or I don't know, maybe I was just a young emotional kid or something. Maybe it's some sort of combination of all three, but it's just such a well executed scene that truly encompasses Ralph's growth since the start of his journey. A tear-jerking moment of embrace that can serve as a lesson for us all. You are you, and that is good. You will never be 100% like someone else, and that's not bad, because there is no one that you would rather be than the lovely individual that is you. And that is why this is the greatest scene in Wreck-It Ralph history. If you guys made it this far, I would ask if you guys please like and subscribe to the channel. It only takes 2 seconds, but it would mean the world to me. Peace.